Hi guys, just to let you know, this is the GK61 replacement. Let's get started. Now, before I get to that, I need to address a couple of things. Firstly is, why? Why am I upgrading? Well, two main reasons. Number one, this keyboard won't make any more sense once I start to review enthusiast and higher end switches. If you think about it, it doesn't really make sense to put Zelios, T1s, Creams, etc. on a budget keyboard like this. Reason number two, and this is more of a personal reason, ever since I started, I've always wanted a higher end keyboard to play around with. But I myself wasn't sure if it was worth the investment since this keyboard was already doing such a great job. But I did take the plunge, so there you have it. Now that we've gotten the why out of the way, let's talk about the what now. So, what am I upgrading to? Is it the GK61 I mentioned 6 months ago? No, it's actually a few things. Firstly, I want to address the things that have stayed the same, and that would be both the cable and the keycaps. But in the future, I'm sure I'll be changing those as well. So anyway, for the changes, the case is now aluminium with some neoprene on the inserts. The plate is now aluminium as well, but the thickness remains the same. The PCB is now the MelGeek MJ61. And finally, the stabs are screw-ins by GMK lubed with silicone grease. So now that I've discussed the why and the what, it's time to bring up a couple of questions that I think a lot of people will ask. So, question 1. Are we still going to see the GK61 for any future Switch reviews? The short answer is no. Every Switch from this point forward will be tested on the new keyboard. However, the long answer is, I may bring it up from time to time as a cheap recommendation, as it is still a good keyboard. But I won't be testing any more switches on it. That's the plan anyway. Question 2. Since the keyboard is higher end and therefore better, does that mean the scores will be higher? And yes, I expect the scores to be even a little higher than usual, especially in the sound department. However, you have to remember that for the most part, I'll be moving on to higher end switches, so naturally they will be higher. Question 3. Will you be testing some lower end switches on the new keyboard? Yes, even though I've done plenty of budget switches, I still have some left over like the Gateron Clear and the Ultima Gold for example. Also, if there are any new budget switches that get released from this point onward, they will be tested on the new keyboard. And finally, question 4. Since you won't be using the GK61 anymore, can I have it? Maybe, but I'm leaning towards no, partly because it's my backup keyboard in case anything happens to the new one. And it's also not in perfect working condition as I mentioned before, so I'm not really sure why you'd want it. So that's it guys, I hope you enjoyed this update video. If you have any further questions, please ask them in the comments and I will try to compile them as a pinned comment so everyone can see it. Anyways, take care and goodbye.